Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at some new cyber cages that I found on Icebox. We'll start on the B side of the map and work our way across. The first one way I'm going to show you is to help any defenders who are playing in the top of this box stop attackers coming out of the yellow section of the map here. So you want to line yourself up like this. You can do this in the prep phase, like this with this wall. And then we're going to be using the cyber cage, the bottom dot in the cyber cage, and we're going to be lining up with this slightly darker spot here, and we're going to be landing the cage on top of there. So for this one, you can see you want the circle in line with the two edges of the trim, and you're popping it just there for the cage. And as you can see, it lands nicely on the hinge. To use this as a one-way, you need to be in the top container here, and you want to come to the front wall and crouch down and edge yourself out. And then as you activate it, you can see the feet of any attackers as they come out of this corridor, or if anyone from the back one comes forward like this. And I'll show you it from their perspective. So as an attacker, you can see the whole of sight, but you can't see that line there. You won't be able to see that at all, and you'll just be peeking out from just there. And from the further back one, although you won't be able to see their feet, they still won't be able to see you until they come out all the way here. For the second spot I'm going to show you, you're going to be using it from the top of the container again, but you have to throw it from the kitchen area. So you want to line yourself up with this doorway here, and then you see this bit here, you want to just go slightly above, slightly to the left, and throw the cage. This lands it just on top of the tunnel. To use this as a one-way cage, from up here in this container again, you can use it, and you might think they'll be able to see you, but I'll show you their perspective and they can't see you at all. As an attacker, if you see this, I'd probably assume that it's to block this tunnel area, to stop you pushing up into this area. But instead, if you try and push through it underneath, as you can still see the whole of this area, but you can't see at all the top container until you get sort of halfway through. And you can see all the way back from this side. You can see all the way back to the blue container right there. So if any attackers do try and pass through the midsection of the map or start to push underneath, even if they come as close to this wall as possible, you'll still be able to see their feet much earlier than they can see you up in the top there. For the next one, where you actually throw it from exactly the same position, but this time it's for playing in the kitchen area and stopping attackers push through underneath this tunnel. So you want to be lining yourself up with this wall again. And then we come here and you want to be aiming just above this hinge, just like this. And from here, if the attackers are coming underneath the tunnel, activate the cage, and you got an angle onto their feet if they're just pushing this way. And for the attackers, they can't see the door at all, unless they push up to the right, but you'll be able to see their feet as they push up this way. And if they try and walk past, you should be able to see their feet if they come to the right-hand side to take cover, if people are playing back there, if your team's pressuring them from inside the B site. If you're looking to defend for attackers coming up this tunnel, a really easy one-way cage is to put yourself in this corner, and you want to aim up, and you see this line here. You want to come along until you get to the shadow, then throw the cage. And for this cage, it lands on top of the camera here. And to use this one, you can be playing inside of the B site, and maybe you've got a tripwire in the tunnel, and you can activate a cage as it activates, and then you'll be able to see their feet as they push into the kitchen area. As an attacker, this is what you can see. So until you push all the way out here, you won't be able to see into the corridor. The next cage is great for holding the midsection of the map from the boiler area from on top of this ramp. You want to throw this after the round starts. Well, I mean, you can only throw after the round starts, but for this one, you will be safe whilst you do it though. So you come into this corner here. And then for this one, we're going to be lining up the cyber cage icon again with the third line in the center of this container. So for this one, you want to be lining up the center dot inside of the line, and then you want to put the top of the cage at the top of the lip there, and then you want to come down a little bit. There's quite a lot of leeway with this, but it's about this much, and then throw the cage. And for this one, you can line it up as the round starts and just throw it instantly, and then you can use it as a one-way onto any attackers that push into this mid area. Make sure not to use it from this side, because if they push to the side, they'll still be able to see you, but if you're playing from the left, they won't be able to see you at all. And as an attacker, this is all they can see. You can see that they can't see onto the ramp at all until they get to this point. But as they push up this area, look, they can only see you once they get to this point. So you should be able to take them out easily if they do try and push you through this. Finally, we're onto the A site. Surprisingly, there's not that many one-way cages in this area. You'd think with all the platforms and stuff, you'd be able to put loads around, but they're all at the wrong height for one-ways. So for the first one, this door into mid, you're going to be throwing it on top of the door frame. You want to land it in about the middle of the door frame just to give the best coverage, but you don't really need to be very exact. For this one, either playing on rafters as they push through the door, or you can play from down low and you can see a little bit more into the mid area, but you're a little bit less safe. As an attacker coming around this corner, you can see you can't see up onto that platform if they're playing far enough back, and you definitely can't see onto the rafters. There is a slightly different cage which does pretty much the same job, but it's just a bit more inviting for the attackers to come in, because if they see that cage on the door, they're probably not likely to come in. So this one, you're going to be landing it right on the corner there about that. But you can also jump onto this area, which I'll quickly show you using this rope. It takes a little bit of practice, but then you can obviously easily pop it down there like that. You have to jump onto the rope and jump off the rope and then crouch jump onto here very quickly. So you sort of just have to spam the buttons and hope you get on. It takes a few attempts, but once you get it down, it's not too hard to do it every time. And for this one where you do have to be playing up on the rafters, but this time they'll probably come into the section by the door, and then you should be able to see their feet as they come around the corner. As an attacker, you'll think, oh look, I can still see everyone's feet if they're trying to hold this angle, but if you're up on the rafters, they won't be able to see you at all. Or if you want to play around this corner, if you're playing a tight angle here, you have to obviously be careful of the rest of the site, but if you know they're coming through mid, if they have to push past that angle, you'll be able to take them out. For the attackers, this is what they see as they're pushing around the corner. And the final one-way cage, this one's again from rafters if you want to play a bit more passively in sight, stopping attackers coming from the midsection. You want to get off on this section and pop the cage on the corner right here. And for this one, again, playing on rafters, you'll be able to see anyone as they come around this corner. Obviously be careful of your left hand side, you probably want someone watching that side of sight, but you'll be able to see their feet as they come around this corner. And if an attacker does try and push you, as you can see, they can't see onto rafters at all, unless they push forward through it or past it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my channel where I've got loads more videos going over some agent tips and tricks on Icebox. Thanks for watching!